Hey guys, Liam back for another vlog. I hope you can hear me okay because I have the generator running over there. But I just wanted to show us what it looks like camping in my van setup at about -7 degrees Celsius. Maybe I'll take that window cover off too actually so I can show you. But as you can see, there's plenty of frost in the window. Just starting to melt because by 9 it's supposed to be -5. I think it might even be -5 right now just because it didn't feel that cold outside when I went out. Front, as you can see, also has lots of frost. And I want to make this video just to kind of give people an insight into what it's like to camp in this kind of cold for a long time. Because probably for the last 2 weeks or so, I've been camping in below zero at night, for sure. And it's actually not that bad. One of the things I would recommend, well, I'll show you guys what some of my adaptations toward the cold life are. For one thing, I obviously have a lot of blankets, and I've been sleeping in thermal underwear as well for some of the coldest of the nights. One of the other things that I do have is that I have a heated mattress cover. I don't know if you guys can see that. I have a heated mattress cover, and it's actually a pretty good quality unit. I think I bought it at Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if you guys can see the controller down there, but you can actually adjust the temperature by about 20 slides, and you can have it to turn off automatically or to stay on. So that's really useful. Now, the one thing that's changed for me since it started getting really cold, like consistently below zero, is that I convinced my dad, who I'm working with on the site here, to actually set up a generator and run it all night on our site, because that's not very expensive. So rather than having to run off the car's battery, I can actually run off the generator. But that being said, I was running like my heated blanket off my car's battery and the inverter up till it was about maybe 0 degrees Celsius. And that is Celsius, by the way. So for American viewers, I don't know what the conversion is, maybe 30 degrees Fahrenheit, whenever water freezes, basically. I was able to stay in here quite comfortably with the power off my inverter up till it got about 0 degrees, or freezing temperature for the Americans. But and to be fair as well, I didn't elect to go any colder just because I was kind of getting afraid because it was getting a little bit chilly in here. But my opinion is that my van, it would have worked even better at low temperature using this thing if I'd been like in a road trip scenario where I could drive around and charge up my battery quite a bit. But as of the moment though, with the generator, all I'm doing is that I'm turning my heated blanket onto full power to hopefully lets, you know, as much ambient heat and stuff out into the environment as I can. And yeah, that's working fairly well. Honestly, it's been too hot, the actual blanket itself sometimes. But what's nice about, if you're going for, like, if your heating system is electrical based, what's nice about having the heated blanket in here is that you're not wasting a bunch of electricity heating everything, which I think a lot of people would think, you know, oh, you want everything heated. But honestly, that's kind of a waste of your power if it's limited, right? If you just heat the bed, it gets very, very, very warm in there and doesn't use much power. But if I wanted to camp without a generator or without plugging into somebody's house at much lower temperatures, I could add another battery and then just run the blanket hotter, right? Now here, I'm kind of curious to see actually how cold it can get in here before I start to basically die. Because here in Saskatchewan, it gets about well, like I say, it's -7 degrees Celsius right now. And -7 degrees Celsius right now, which is about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. But here in Saskatchewan, it actually gets, very conceivably -30 in the winter, -30 Celsius. And it can get -40 Celsius, which, once again, for the American viewers, -40 Celsius, I believe, is also -40 Fahrenheit. It's where they meet. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to where I'm going to have to call it quits, because our work here has not finished, and by the time we finish, it might be actually -20 or -30. But we're also going to move into the building at some point, so, you know, we're kind of just dealing with the cold as it comes. But yeah, honestly, I'm quite comfortable in here. Like inside the heated blanket, it stays very, very, very warm. Yeah, I'll show you guys a couple other things that I have here too. Oh, and another thing too is that because we're because we're plugged into outside power, I can turn on my stove and heat myself hot chocolate in the mornings all I want. Now, one other thing I'll show you is that my lovely girlfriend Carrie, who has been in quite a few of my videos, mostly the road trip ones. She doesn't come up here to you know, these dusty work sites to hang out with me. But she actually gave me the LED lights that are in our van. And I don't know if I've actually ever shown those, but we were having trouble figuring them out for a long time, and I got this remote. So I'll show you guys for a couple minutes some van updates here. So the remote, basically, I found out that I can turn them on and set them to whatever mode I want. So they're pretty cool. It's pretty cool that you can do that, actually. And I also found something that's very nice for the nighttime, which is that I can change the dimness. And I don't know how noticeable it would be from the camera, but that's very useful actually at night, because sometimes they get a bit bright when I'm getting ready for bed. It's nice to be able to turn them off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the one other thing I'll show you guys is that I have these window covers, obviously, to help keep the temperature inside. But then I also had this front curtain, which is a total blackout curtain. But the problem is it's getting so cold that I had no access to the front of the van. And honestly, for the last couple weeks, I've actually been, or since I made this change and cut a hole down the middle, I've actually been using the front as like another room because it's so nice and bright up here. Excuse the mess, but I sometimes use it as another room, like I say, because I can actually sit up in the seat. It's kind of cold sometimes, but if it's a nice day, it's like a solarium because I can get a lot of light in there. And basically for this, what I have is that I just bring these back together when I want to. Because that's another thing, is that you lose a lot of heat through the front windows, and I think that's a downside of many people's vans. So I specifically have it. I have a couple of clips, and I just clip this shut, honestly. Just a couple clips, and get it pretty sealed all the way down. And that keeps convection from pulling a lot of the heat back here out to the enormous front windows. Because the front windows are always the largest on a car, pretty much. Like, if you can completely cut them off, that's nice. And if I ever do want just privacy but still the light, I can lower my privacy curtain here, which I have. But anyway, yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out and seeing some of the van updates and seeing what it's like to live at severely low temperatures in the van. And I'll make another update video when we get to like -10 or -15, and we'll see if I'm a popsicle by then. All right, thanks guys. I'll see you in another video.